Peace. I am Joy of Full with Joy, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. I would imagine that maybe you found me through the newsletter, and so if you made it this far, congratulations, I see you. Or maybe you are here because you found me through a random search. However you got here, I'm just glad that you're here, and I hope our time today offers you something positive to your journey. So whole with joy, what does it mean to be whole with joy? Whole with joy is all about healing and transformation through learning how to embrace both our joy and our pain. By learning how to embrace all parts of who we are, those parts that we've learned to disown, to dislike, to hide, to fear, to sometimes even hate due to the ways that we have internalized, things that have been hurtful, things that have been lies about who we are. So it's really learning how to call those parts home, love on those parts, and liberate our spirits through achieving a sense of inner wholeness. And the way that we're able to learn how to do this, whole with joy is all about learning how to be comfortable in our skin. And the pathway, one of the most important pathways of doing this is through learning how to connect, in many ways, reconnect with our bodies. Our bodies are the source of our wisdom, our power, our ancestral knowledge, our intuition, of our joy, of pleasure. Yes, it holds our pain and the things that have happened to us that have not felt well. And it also holds the key, even with those things, to how we heal and how we thrive. And so today I'm here to help you learn how to start to unlock that wisdom at a deeper level. I would imagine in many ways you're already intuitively doing that. And today is really to help you continue that practice and maybe even expand what's already there. Because again, that's what our bodies are designed to do. So in the newsletter, I had talked about this idea of harmony. And we talked about how harmony is something that once it's achieved on the inside, you often see the ripple effect of it outside of you within your relationships. I talked about it also in the terms of to be able to co-regulate, right? To be able to create connection that is harmonious and that is, loving with others. It's important for us to be able to self-regulate. And so again, going back, and how do we self-regulate is going back to our connection with the body. So today we're going to dive into a practice that will start, it's like one of the most important practices to start that journey of learning how to attune to the body. And like when you hear attunement, sometimes you'll hear the language of attunement or the language of tracking. Attunement and tracking, it's essentially the same thing, but it's learning how to listen to the body, feel into the body, notice what sensations are there, like tracking the physiology, the emotions, maybe even noticing the stories that come along with once you're tuning in, but noticing just what the feeling state is, like what's going on, what's living on the inside, to just notice where you are and how that just shows up in your thinking, how that shows up in, again, your relationships and just how you are showing up in the world. And, when I had started my healing journey, one of the most important practices was this. It was a game changer of learning how to slow down and to check in with my body and to truly listen, because everything that we need really truly lives within here. I want to offer this before we go into the practice. Is really important, and it was, no matter where I was, and maybe therapy or training or some type of healing experience, the invitation to, when we're tuning into our bodies, especially because our bodies come with such complexities, it's really important to bring a mindset, an energy of compassion and curiosity when it comes to what's living on the inside. And so we're going to go into the tracking practice now. So I invite you and I'm going to lead you through it, and I'm going to guide you through it, and we'll take it from there. So I invite you to take a nice deep breath in and release, and just feel into the chair, or whatever the structure may be. Maybe you have found yourself outside, allowing the earth to hold you. But see if you can breathe into a comfortable position for our body scan today to track our nervous system to see what's living on the inside. So the very first marker that we're going to, or area that we're going to track of the body, is the face and the head. So the invitation is just to breathe into this part of the body and notice what's living there. Do you notice tension? Is there any grinding of the teeth? Is there any clenching of the jaw? Are there any headaches, any pain? Do you notice something else? Just feel what's there in your head. Next, we're going to go down to the throat. And notice what's living there. Notice if your throat feels open or closed. Do you notice maybe a lump in your throat? Does it feel dry? Is it something else? Notice what's there. Now we're going to breathe and shift our attention down to the chest and the heart space, and just notice what the heart is doing. And saying hello to the heart, our precious and most fiercest protector, our heart. So, we got to say hello to the heart sometimes. So say hello. And what do you notice? What story is living there? What story is the heart telling? What do you notice in the heart rate? Is it fast and rapid? Is it slow and relaxed? Do you notice your chest feeling tight and tense or relaxed? Maybe it's something else. Can you feel into your heart? Okay, now we're going to go down into our lungs and the diaphragm and notice the breath, connecting with the breath. How often do you connect with your breath? And say hi. Notice what's living on the inside there. Notice if the breath feels shallow, again, rapid, any rapid breathing, or is it nice, slow and mindful breaths? Again, there's no right or wrong way of how the body should be. It's just really about observation and noticing what's there. Next is going down to the belly. What do you notice? Maybe you notice, for me, I'm noticing a little I don't know, a little busyness. The belly's a little vocal right now. And so maybe you're noticing that, maybe things are kind of jumping all around and have a lot to say in the belly. Do things feel unsettled? Do they feel uneasy, or do they feel like calm and steady? And what do you notice? What is it like to connect with the gut right now? Now we're going to go down to our hips. I feel like the hips is a place we can often neglect. And so just notice what it's like to just move the hips a little bit. Do they feel tight? Do they feel open? Is there any pain that's there? Saying hello. Now we're going to shift our attention down from the hips, down our legs into our feet. And notice yourself planted to the ground, noticing the presence of gravity. Notice that connection, your feet touching the floor, the carpet, maybe the grounds, everything's been held by the earth. But notice if you can feel into that connection and what it's like to say hi. Or notice if you're maybe feeling something opposite, maybe feeling pulled away and out of connection. Now I invite you to take another breath as we conclude the body scan. So as you notice, today's scan was taking the time to check in with the face, head face, with the throat, the chest, heart, breathing, lungs, the gut, your hips, and then legs, feet, going down into the feet, and to see, how you're feeling, what you're holding. Again, what are the sensations? What is the overall feeling? Like, what emotions do you notice? Are there any type of stories that may be there as you're, saying hello and scanning the body. I invite folks to do this. I will say this, the more that you get into a practice in the swing of thing, it will become natural and you won't even have to really think about it. Your body would just you just start to do it really on an unconscious, just again, like level, like flow. But I encourage people to do this at least once a day, maybe starting your day doing a scan to just see what's living on the inside. Or also, if you can, ideally, if you could do it twice a day, so once in the morning, then right before you go to bed, to see what state you're in, if you're in a state of balance or if you are feeling out of balance. If the body's feeling well or if you notice something that's feeling unwell. Again, this is all just information. It's biofeedback to maybe things you need more of or things that you need less of, or maybe just the body being in need of some tender love and care. And who doesn't need that from time to time or quite often in this world that we live in. And so I hope that this practice today is something that you can incorporate into your life in a way that can give you a greater sense of self, to expand your awareness of self and your. And so then the next piece of this is the invitation to take those observations and maybe also track it by creating some type of log. And so noticing, when you're feeling in or out of balance, what are you eating? Who are you around? What environments you're in? What time of day is it? How have you moved your body? Have you not moved your body? And just really just start to notice those trends, those patterns, and put it in a journal, right? Use a journal. There's many apps out here that you could potentially use, and or maybe just keeping the mental notes. But just wanted to offer that to you. I really hope this practice can support your overall well-being, help expand your sense of self-awareness and body connection. For people who like to dive deeper into the neuroscience of when I say what it means to be out of balance or balance, I'm going to also attach an article I just wrote on keys to well-being that goes into a little bit of the neuroscience. It's not a deep dive, a little bit of neuroscience around the language of the body and what it actually means of when we're being pulled out of balance, those different states that we can be in. The state of feeling really amped up and like anxious and like that fire energy that can manifest in many different ways, or feeling really shut down and out of it and kind of numb and disconnected from ourselves. And both states can have us feeling out of connection with self, but it just manifests differently. And so if you wanted more of the science with that, the article's there. I also plan on in future videos diving more into the science from time to time. I enjoyed being with you today, and I look forward to being with you in the future. And remember, when we are able to create wholeness within, we create wholeness in the world. And what do we need more than anything in this world is a greater sense of wholeness, of joy, and love. Thank you.